feel yourself plugged into that cycle, it's the most saturating peace and sense of meaning that you'll ever feel when you find yourself in harmony with that appropriate relationship. So we watch the rain come, we watch the grass get rich, we work it, we mow it, we preserve it, we watch that grass stored up, we watch the grass go through animals. The grass gives power to our horses serve us all winter. We use the horses to feed the cows sell, that helps us get money, we use the money for certain things.
Talking about hay as a lifeblood, hay as a life cycle, as a battery, as a power source. Just super interesting stuff. Everyone that was interviewed feels very strongly about this way of life, and they all are very passionate about keeping old traditions and keeping grounded with these traditions and their family values and things like that, which I thought was really cool to see that people like that still exist. People so grounded in the earth and in each other. Just a love for the older ways. The coolest thing for me was definitely seeing all the horse-drawn equipment actually being used and all the old ways of storing hay. You kind of get to see where the term needle in a haystack comes from, because that was back when haystacks were a thing. And but yeah, I thought it was really interesting to hear them explain how these older traditions can still work today, especially the haystack and it being kept dry and preserved, even though it's just all this hay in a stack instead of in a tight bale. I also appreciated how they were talking about the panic of society today and what are we going to do if we lose gasoline? What are we going to do if we lose electricity? And these people are very secure in their use of horsepower and hay and simple things like that as their lifeblood, as their battery. So yeah, the message was really strong in this film.
The interview becomes sort of the narrative vehicle primarily throughout the film. A lot of the visuals we're seeing is the gathering of hay and the process of this whole entire family unit and this entire community kind of coming together for the purposes of prepping for this day. And I felt like not only did I learn the process, I learned about this family in itself and about the event and how it all relates to the community. And I think that the use of these various interviews outside of the primary subject, that is the father or the head of this household, gives a very different perspective um, on just the process as a whole and on the feel of the community and the vibe of the people.
The point that they were making is people get farther and farther away from tradition, but also as technology develops and things like that, we just kind of always look for the upgrade, and that's not necessarily always what's best for people or the land or the process itself. I think some of the times as a society, especially in the kind of technological boom and how everything kind of just snowballs so quickly, I think a lot of the time people can get caught up in trying to improve a process and trying to streamline and trying to, you know, make more efficient and, all of these different kind of aspects. But I do believe that there are some things where the most efficient way to do it is not necessarily the best way for it to be done. Um, which I think is an interesting idea. I think it's an interesting concept, and I definitely think that in this day and age, society in general gets kind of caught up in that, like, need to upgrade, need to improve, need to, take it to the next step, mentality. And so I really liked this. I really enjoyed this, that they kind of took something like farming, which is a huge commitment. It's a huge thing. It's also a huge topic, especially recently. And, I like that they're kind of showing their roots, why they're choosing to do this, that they give the education, that they give the information of why they're choosing to do it this way, why they're committing to doing it this way, and the kind of benefits that aren't just about the land itself, but also about the community.
Fascinating subject matter. I never thought about hay or grass like this. Um, and now I come away with a new appreciation for hay and grass and all that goes and its role in the ecosystem and in society and to farmers and to the process and a new appreciation for the process of like taking care of it. And I guess that's kind of the mission of this film. So mission accomplished. Um, and you did it in a with good cinematography, with good interviews and B-roll shots, uh, good music, uh, and just overall good filmmaking.
This was wild. Yeah, it was a really cool documentary. I found it to be educational and really interesting. I liked the interviews that they did. The music that they chose, I think, fit this film really, really well.